what can be taken from the military piece is understanding that, there's one thing that we do well. We do a lot of things well in the military. We have done so. I think we do a really good job, and you hit on it. We do a really good job in taking an individual and speaking leadership to them early in their career. I mean, we have examples of leadership. We have a path laid out. Here's how you go from being a seaman to a master chief, or here's how you go from being a specialist or a corporal sergeant to a chief warrant officer. So I think we do a really good job in building early on, building leaders and then reinforcing them via their various positions and authority. And again, the example piece is big, placing them in a setting where the example is being set properly.
All right, let's get it. Welcome to Chatting with Chief, hosted by Backpack Technologies, LLC, a place where we talk about some of the hottest buzzwords and concerns in the IT and cyber worlds. Today's guest is retired Navy Master Chief Okyo O.J. Simmons, CEO of Enyne Leadership Development, LLC, and I'm your host, Jason Blair for Backpack Technologies, LLC. Some of OJ's assignments include the White House Communications Agency, the Navy Information Operations Command, San Diego, the USS Blue Ridge, and the list goes on and on. I love today's topic as it centers on what either makes or breaks an organization. And that topic today is next level leadership. But let's meet our guest. OJ, how's it going?
JB, my man. Hey, listen, it's going great. I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here, man. This is anytime I can sit with a colleague or an old teammate and talk leadership, it is awesome. I think you're going to want me to talk about myself right now, but I'm going to talk a little bit about you and just say I'm happy for you. I love what you're doing. I'm proud of you and your transition. You really mastering the transition from the military life, the military culture into civilian world and private sector and entrepreneurship, man. That is awesome. I'm behind you all the way. So if you need something from me, the answer is going to always be yes, my man. Backpack Technologies, the things that you're all doing in terms of moving the conversation, moving technology forward in support of executive communications is something that is absolutely needed. I think it's critical as we move into the way ahead of where comms is going, or how far it's come, where it's going. I do a lot of work with Department of Homeland Security now, and a lot of my cybersecurity customers. So we're well aware of where comms needs to go and infrastructure, the comms infrastructure. So anything that's going to, I guess, move that needle forward in terms of, again, executive comms and support is awesome. So good on you. I'll tell you this as well. You being chief, chatting with the chief. I love that title. You Army Chiefs. I don't know if many people know this. You guys have a special place in my heart, man. You're one of my favorite groups to have worked with. You remind me a lot of our Navy chief warrant officers, professional, knowledgeable, and got a little swag to you, just a little style, and confidence, which is great. So I think back at our times at White House and just some of the chiefs that were there. Hey, you're in my top 100 of favorite people to have worked with, right? So you might be 99, but at least you're in there. No, I'm just playing. You're in there, my man.
Yeah, at least I make the rankings. That's all that matters.
You made it, JP. All right.
Oh man, hey, I appreciate the shout out, and back. I really, man, I'm kind of choked up, but one of the things you did say, like trying to move the needle with Backpack, is I love innovation, and that's what I tried to do when I was in the White House. So in the White House Communications Agency. So I really appreciate that, OJ. That touched me. That touched me. But
absolutely,
even though it touched me, man, this ain't about me. This is about you. So, can you please introduce yourself a little bit more and tell us a little bit about Enyne Leadership Development?
Yes, indeed, no doubt. Hey, look, Again, like as you mentioned, I'm OJ Simmons Okoyo, my first name. You can call me either one. I answer to either one. I am a retired U.S. Navy Master Chief, 27 years in the world's greatest Navy. And I loved every minute of it, right? And so what I do now is I'm a leadership consultant, uh, teacher, coach, and speaker. And my company is called Enyne Leadership Development, and we concentrate, JB, on a lot of things, but our main focus is taking our customers from a place of goodness. You know, they're already good, they're already leaders, and some of them are merging, and some of them are already in the C-suite. But we take them from good to great. Okay, we are people of value who add value to people, and so as we concentrate on the customer, we're completely customer focused and on that leadership journey to get them where they need to be. So it's something that I love doing. I mean, love is a strong word, and I mean it in that fashion. That I love doing it. I enjoy adding value and pouring into people, and that's what we do. To really work on leadership and team development and that next level piece that you mentioned. So I'm in a sweet spot. I'm certainly in a sweet spot on what I do, and I love doing.
I mean, so that kind of answers my first question, right?
Mhm,
So a lot of us when we retire, especially the ones that that I won't say had the burden, but was honored to actually lead teams.
mhm,
A lot of us, because there's a lot of responsibility there. And
absolutely,
once we get out, a lot of us say, "Hey, I don't want to be in charge of nothing," or I don't want to be in charge of a lot of people.
it
So
does.
I mean, you said you love it, but even though you love it, I mean, I love a lot of things, but why did you decide to make this like leading, coaching, mentoring a profession, a profession that you just wanted to go in and give back?
That's a great question. For me, it was pretty simple. It was pretty simple. I am operating in my gift and my passion. My passion is to and has been to develop people and to pour into people and help and assist and watch them grow and to serve. Right. I for 27 years in the military, I was responsible for a lot of that, for a lot of the professional growth and development, a lot of the personal growth and development of warriors. Right. And so just getting out once I retired from the Navy, I still had that itch to continue to serve. My passion aligned perfectly with my gift,
Mm.
being the gift to communicate and to connect with people. And so, a lot of times people, I say blessed because a lot of times people's passion and their gift don't align. They don't match up. You may be passionate about singing, but if you can't hold a note, then you don't need to be a singer, right? So, so I'm telling you,
Yeah,
you might have to find
yeah.
another. That may not be your gift. You're passionate about it, but that may not be your gift. And so for me, like I said, they align perfectly. I wanted to continue to serve and to help people. And JB, I'm here to tell you, I don't do lip service. I am a straight shooter, as you know. It's one of the most fulfilling things outside of being in the military, and of course outside of my family. One of the most fulfilling things that I have done uh, to date is to continue to help people, civilians, grow in their leadership and to develop high performing teams. There's a big market for it. A lot of people, a lot of businesses, companies, organizations need uh, stronger leadership skills into how to grow into that and how to continue to develop their leaders. And I'm just happy to be in that space and to be qualified to do so.
I can't think
Yeah,
of too many people more qualified, right, to kind of jump in and
appreciate it.
and do that. But
Yeah.
um, so as you're uniquely qualified,
Mhm.
especially now that you've transitioned and this is
Right.
what you do, and like you said, you're already talking with different civilian agencies and industry on
Mhm.
leadership capabilities. So one of the things that I'll just get to the point, right? So do you believe that good technicians, good rock stars,
Mhm.
should be promoted, and do they make good leaders or good managers?
Okay, great question. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. they can certainly become good leaders. Great technicians can certainly become great technicians or great leaders. It's important to note that being a leader, though, however, requires skills that go beyond technical expertise. It's important to know that we're talking two different things: a great technician and a leader. Being a skilled technician is a good foundation, certainly, for being an effective leader. But leadership involves additional qualities and abilities that you're going to either have to have already, or these are things you're going to be able to work on. You're going to need to work on. When I think of what that is, we're talking, communication skills, your ability to convey your vision, your goals clearly to the team, convey your expectations. You have to have that communication piece down. And at the same time, as it relates to communication, you want to be able to be an effective, active listener. All right. So that's important. You want to be actively listening to the needs and desires for your team, of your team. So communication is a big piece, and that has nothing to do with technical abilities, right? You need to have the ability to think strategically. We're talking vision. Where is the team going? Where are we destined to go? Where should we go? And what paths will take us there, and what paths won't take us there? So a leader has to have that type of foresight and that strategic thought pattern, strategic thought process, right? And then time management. There's a host of things. Time management,
I bet you.
yeah, conflict resolution. How can you manage change, managing transformations of organizations? So again, to answer your question, circling back to your question, yeah, a technician, in terms of being promoted into a leadership position where you're leading people now, being in charge of equipment is a different thing. But when you talk about leading people and understanding that leadership is simply influence, right? It's merely influence, and you can do it one of two ways. You can lead good or you can lead bad. Only two ways to lead. But when you're talking about leading people and influencing people, there is a whole host of things that you have to be aware of and you have to be equipped with in order to be successful, and not just for your success, for team success. Okay. But here's the beauty of the good thing is this. The good news is this. You can learn those things. Leadership is teachable and it is learnable. All right. And so I would say to an organization that thinks highly of technicians or highly of a technician, they're doing some great things. Well, you want to ensure that you're feeding them leadership tools, strategies, developing their leadership, growing them as a leader, because it's going to take a whole lot more than these technical skills, which are great, to be an effective leader.
No, yeah, I feel that because that's
Mm-hmm.
what I've noticed a lot was a lot of techs, engineers, don't knock them. I'm one of, we tend to, especially if we have a project,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because of the way we think, we tend to focus on a lot of the details of the project, and that kind of can take over some of the key points that you pointed out as far as having that broader view on
Yeah.
how to take care of the organization's overall mission and its people, right? So,
Yeah.
a good points with that. So that's a great segue into what's the main difference that, I mean, we see this on the internet all the time on the different social media
Yeah.
platforms, but what's the difference between a leader and a manager?
It's an age-old question, right? The difference between leadership and a manager. You know what? You're right. You see this question on the internet, and I've seen it for way before the internet was around, right? The what's a leader? What's a manager? I'm a leader. I'm a manager. The leader is better than the manager. It's almost and sometimes I've seen where it's close to a fight, because someone is arguing the differences of leadership and management. But I'll keep it simple. I heard a quote once, and it was, managers ensure we are doing things right. Leaders ensure that we are doing the right things. And I think that really sums it up well. Managers, when you think of what an effective manager is responsible for, and that's, regulations, policy, rules, ensuring that this team, my team, what we're responsible for is doing things right. We have a set of guidelines. We have to meet deadlines, so we have a whole host of things that are going to ensure that we on the correct side of the track as it relates to whatever we're executing. Leadership, on the other hand, responsible for, okay, I understand the guidelines, and so I'm going to take those guidelines and we're going to operate within the guidelines to get this piece done, to get this piece executed. And so that entails inspiring, motivating, training, having some tough conversations, quite possibly with my team, ensuring that they know where the shortcomings are, and again, where the way ahead is. So two very important roles. So that's the thing. I think when the argument comes about, it's one team trying to say how much more important they are than the other team. And that is that shouldn't be the case, because both roles are important. Now, I'll tell you this, what I have found in the civilian sector is that in a lot of cases, there's one person in those two roles, in both of those roles, as a leader and manager. And, depending on the organizational structure, that can work. But, when you go back to the military side, we know those clear lanes are important. Those clearly defined lanes are important. Those roles are important. And a lot of times, if you have someone in that setting that is crisscrossing those lanes, it could be an issue. It could be a problem. I've seen that. Go ahead.
No, and I think that's man, I really like what you said, like that quote, as far
Yeah.
as like a manager makes sure things are getting done, and the
Mhm.
leadership makes sure you're doing the right things, right? I
Yeah.
think that's how I heard it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So because what they teach in the military, everybody could be a leader, right? Everybody could be a leader. Just look, just because somebody is making sure you're getting something done, it doesn't mean you want to follow them, right?
That's right.
They just getting it done. But you
Mhm.
got, somebody that's out there, lower ranking than you or whatever, doing the right things. It just motivates you to go out there and do it. So they're
Yeah.
leading, they just don't know it, right? So
Exactly.
so I think we got time for a couple more questions. So like real quick though, like since you've been out for a while and now you've been in industry
Hmm.
doing your thing, like what could industry learn from the military, right?
Hmm.
And vice versa.
I've had that question. I have clients that know that we are military associated. We have military veterans in the company, and so that question has come up. What can we learn from the leadership culture, the military culture out here in the civilian world? Um, I'll say this. I think what can be taken from the military piece is understanding that there's one thing that we do well. We do a lot of things well in the military. We have done so. I think we do a really good job, and you hit on it. We do a really good job in taking an individual and speaking leadership to them early in their career. I mean, we have examples of leadership. We have a path laid out. Here's how you go from being a seaman to a master chief, or here's how you go from being a specialist or a corporal sergeant to a chief warrant officer. So here's some examples, and we're going to put you and ensure we put you in roles to enhance your potential, so you can meet your potential and bust through your potential. So I think we do a really good job in building early on, building leaders and then reinforcing them via their various positions and authority. And again, the example piece is big, placing them in a setting where the example is being set properly. Now, do we always get it right? No, we don't. Unfortunately, we don't always get it right. But I think there are more systems in the military designed to create leaders early on and for them to continue to develop for 20 years, 30 plus years. And
Right.
so, again, nothing is foolproof. But I think that is a big thing that can be learned from the military to the civilian side, of how important it is to pour into your team's development as leaders and professionals. You know, um, a lot of my clients, one of their biggest issues is, we have people that we are promoting and we place them into leadership positions without any leadership development strategies, any leadership development tools. However, we're expecting them to perform at a next level, high level leadership pace. And it just doesn't happen that way.
Right.
They're compassionate about the situation and we feel for them. We want them to do well, but we have no systems in place to meet that goal. And so that is one of the things I encourage them. Hey, you got to start early. You get somebody that needs to be part of your onboarding process. Here is the plan. Here's a way ahead for your development. Here's how you can get great. Here's how you can become CEO. And then again, pour into that. Here's some training material. Here's some courses. Hey, come to Enyne Leadership Consulting, or whatever the case. Whatever the case. And that's one thing that I think that's the glaring thing that I have experienced since I have retired. And they can take a page from the military and really help that situation.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and then the last question I have for you today is, like, I don't know, maybe it's a proprietary thing that you save, but do you have some tips or some acronyms that you could go out that can help people start their journey on leadership development?
You know what's funny about that question? I have a host of old teammates that I still keep in touch with, and just within the last 30 days, I have been reminded of some quotes, acronyms I used to use, and I have used so many that I have forgotten. Full transparency, I have forgotten a lot of them. But they reminded me, hey, I remember you say this. I remember you say this. I say this, which is great. I love it. I love that, it's kind of a legacy sort of thing. Um,
Mm.
but if I had to center on a couple of things or even one, I always say your goal as it relates to family, even business, your own personal development, grow, lead, win. And grow, lead, win. It's like a phase. You grow first, you're learning, you're getting your feet wet, you're breaking through, you're gathering information, you're formulating a plan, and you lead. You execute the plan. So you grow, you lead, you execute the plan. It's because it has been planned out and strategized, it's effective, right? And then win. So if you start with growth, you strategize, you execute your plan, you move into the win portion. And that is not final destiny because leadership isn't final. You want to continue to grow. There's no end state as it relates to leadership, but grow, lead, win. It's something I used to tell my chief's mess all the time in the Navy, who shout out to the chief's mess. They're absolute professional leadership professionals, the greatest thing on earth. Uh,
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
you allow it? Hey, chatting with the chief. You can't leave out my Navy Chiefs mess.
No,
But
they're good. They are
but
good.
but yeah, that's the thing. That's one of my big takeaways is to have a pattern for your development. Grow, lead, win. Easy said,
And
easy done. Let's get it.
I love that because
Yeah.
I like looking. It was something on LinkedIn. I can't remember the post, but it was just the other day. It was just so simple. Like, if you could just glance over what somebody's saying, but if you just look real deep, you could write a whole paper on
Mm,
those three words, right? Grow,
yeah.
lead, win. Right? I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, hey, I appreciate that. So, hey, like I said, we're kind of strapped on time. So, how can people get in contact with you or E9 Leadership?
You can find me on e9leadership.com. That's ENYNE leadership.com. Find me on LinkedIn or just find me. A lot of people, I'm connected, I'm networked pretty well. So if you find somebody that knows me, hey, let's make a connection and let's get this thing started. Let's get us on the road to next level leadership, high level leading.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Master Chief OJ, man, this been
My man,
this been a
JP.
very refreshing conversation, man. I'm
Wait,
so glad that you decided to jump on with me.
absolutely. I wish we had more time. I could talk about this stuff for days. So
Yeah. I mean, we'll let's talk about that a little bit later. But we
yeah.
definitely have other opportunities, and we could probably kind of streamline it to a certain subject, right? So, but all right, Master Chief,
Yes, sir, Chief.
OJ.
All
All
right,
right.
JP. Love it.
See you
Appreciate you.
later.
All right.